Right now, I want to welcome, though, Julie Gunlock from the Independent Women's Forum. How you doing, Julie?
Doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. It was a very good night for freedom, I think, last night.
It certainly was. It was a good night for food freedom, to say the least. So I'll be toasting the, more freedom for everyone tonight.
There you go. And again, just like with the gun issue, we didn't have a clean sweep. There were some races that didn't go the way I would have wanted to see it go. But San Francisco, for instance, they rejected a soda tax. Berkeley passed their soda tax. What about some of the food labeling bills that or referendums that were out there around the country? It went down to defeat in Colorado pretty handily, right?
Yeah, and also Oregon, I think at the latest is too close to call, and Hawaii, they had two labeling bills. One passed, one was defeated, and that was for GMOs. So yes, there was, there were some that passed, some that failed, and I think overall, though, people are tired of it. I think if this referendum had happened, 2 years ago, maybe people would have been okay with them. But again, I think people are tired of the nannying. They're tired of government telling them how they can live in every aspect of their life. So I think a lot of people going into this race thought these labeling laws would just breeze through. But yeah, we had some good luck last night.
All right. So what do you think happens next, Julie? It seems like this would be, in a perfect world, a time for Big Nanny to sit and reflect on where it's gone wrong, and perhaps maybe is there another way? Should I really be telling people how to live and all these different aspects of their lives? But Julie, I just don't see Big Nanny doing that.
No, I agree. I think that Michael Bloomberg, for instance, he will continue to fund over the next 2 years to fund anti-soda initiatives. I think Mayor de Blasio has announced that he is going to introduce similar legislation to limit soda consumption in New York City, and on and on. This goes on. We're seeing these types of initiatives crop up throughout the country. Some, as we said a few minutes ago, some went through last night and some didn't. The need to nanny, it is a powerful drug, and so it will continue. What we can do is in the next 2 years, and look, politicians have a duty to explain to their constituencies why these types of laws will limit their freedoms. And so in the next 2 years, I hope the politicians do that, and I hope that commentators like me and people like you do that and explain to people that these, perhaps with this audience, it's preaching to the choir, but I certainly hope our message gets out there that these types of laws do nothing but cost the consumer more. They do nothing to solve problems.
All right. You write for the Independent Women's Forum, and that's where you work. And I got to say, last night, Julie, we saw. You've got to be pleased as well, because we saw a lot of what I would think would be strong, independent women win election, not only there in the House of Representatives, but in the Senate as well.
Oh, yeah, this is a great, I don't know what the mainstream media is going to do tonight. They're just going to kind of sort of quietly, fluff over those big things like Mia Love, the youngest female elected to the House of Representatives. They're just panicking right now, thinking, where's the filler? What can we talk about here other than these great leaps for females? When they're Republicans, we don't want to talk about it. So yeah, and look, we saw that before. One thing that IWF tried to do beforehand is really, sort of bring attention to women that were running and conservative women that were running and initiatives really that we thought would bring more freedom to women. So again, the mainstream media doesn't really like to cover those issues.
No, they don't. And it's going to be interesting to see how the media responds to to the election last night and going forward. Will they recognize? Will they get back to the job? Everybody has a certain amount of soul searching that can be done after an election like this, and I think for the media, beyond MSNBC, but for the rest of the media, do they want to get back to actually reporting the news to one degree or another? Do they want to cover these compelling fascinating individuals, the way that they cover compelling, fascinating individuals who happen to be progressive? Or are they going to continue to leave those stories on the editing room floor because
I'm gonna go with that.
they're conservative? Yeah, you
I'm
think
gonna
so?
I'm going to bottom line this. I mean, let's just say, we can think about this and, we can Monday morning quarterback this, but I'm going to go with that whole leave it on the editing room floor because the press isn't going to change. My goodness. We had a U.S. ambassador die, a couple years ago, and they just wanted to sweep it under, the rug. We've had, gun running. They wanted to sweep it under the rug. It is unbelievable. It's not just women being elected. I mean, hey, that's great and hurrah and hey, yay, go ladies. But there's been a lot of really pretty, big things that have occurred in this country in the last 2 years. The press does not want to cover. And so I don't think there's going to be a lot of reflection, a lot of change over the next 2 years.
All right, Julie, listen, I appreciate you coming on the program today. Happy post-election day to you, and we'll look forward to doing this again soon.
And to you. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right, Julie Gunlock joins us here on NRA News Cam and Company.